Welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I am the senior minister here at the Oasis, and I always like to introduce this wonderful team that God has provided me. Let me start out with Miss Faith. Faith is my faithful assistant, no pun intended. Or pun intended, that could work too. She's been my assistant since the day she was born. She used to help her dad at the sound booth when she was first born, and then when she was able to crawl, she crawled right up on stage like she belonged there. So we started putting her on the podium when I would do announcements. She'd sit up there with me. But she grew up 6 blocks away from my house, and she's been a part of my life her whole life. And then when she was 14 and a half, she said, I'm really ready for a regular job. And so I hired her for my other business, the Ozone business. And then when we went live with the church during the pandemic, I asked her to be my assistant here, and she's been that ever since. So she's also our soloist. So today she's going to sing Holy, Holy, Holy by Karen Drucker, one of my favorite songs. So it's going to be perfect. Thank you for being here, Faith. I love you.
Thank you.
And then there is my partner in crime, Oz, who's been at my side just about since 1998.
25 years. 25 years this fall.
I know, right? Crazy, isn't it? I just figured out Marilyn and Catherine and I, the ministerial school trio, we just figured out that we've known each other 29 years. We're so crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that was just the other day. Marilyn sent out some slides of us, and we started talking. Anyway, he was my board president for many years. He's my first baby practitioner, meaning he took all of his training with me. And then he moved to Florida, and we kind of lost his ability to be by my side for a while. But when we started going live here, we were able to get him back. He's now in Wisconsin for the summer, because who wouldn't? I always say all my friends move in the summertime. That's not true. Marilyn and Catherine stay there, and Billy does too. So not all of my friends. Most of my friends leave. Anyway, he's here with us as our practitioner of the day, which means he's going to do the invocation and the benediction. And today I'm going to be the one that's for the 1 minute miracle, because Oz has some plans to go on. What did you say? It's like a boat trip and dinner?
Yeah, it's for Pride Fest volunteers here in Milwaukee.
Oh, nice. That's very nice.
Yeah, going on Lake Michigan and then dinner after.
Yeah, so like a little dinner cruise, or is the dinner somewhere else?
I think it's mostly just drinks on the cruise and then dinner afterwards at a restaurant.
Nice. That's very nice. So I'm excited that you're doing that. We'll miss you, of course, at the end there. But so anyway, he is our practitioner of the day. So thank you for being here, Oz. I love you. And so say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. When we're in a facility, I can look out and see all of the shining faces beaming back at me. But here I get a number. I don't even get names. So I appreciate it when you just let me know that you are here. If you're here later, just say hi. Just let me know that you stopped by. It's always nice to know how many people. I was talking to John today, Joey's son, and he said, I think you're going to have 7 or 8 people today. So from your lips to God's ears, John. All right. So there's a watch party button. That is a great way for you to invite your friends to see what kind of services we offer on Sunday. And it's a good way for you to chat back and forth, because you can't bother anybody. It's very private. So hit that watch party button and invite all of your friends. Okay. All right. So I invite you right now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
The presence of God is everywhere and every time. For God, as we understand it, is all that is, all that can be, all that will be, and all that has been. All of it is unified in that one greater being that we call God, for it is a concept of inclusion of all things. And if God is for us, who can be against us? For nothing can exist against itself. And if God is all there is, the entire universe is acting on our behalf and on the behalf of all of existence, manifesting and maintaining itself continuously and effortlessly through that greater source, that greater power. We know that we are part of that. We are one in it, that it is who we are and what we shall become. And we declare these things to be good and very good and perfectly blessed. We get out of our own way and let God handle the details. Just as it breathes us, it pumps our blood and runs the entire ecosystem and planets beyond. Its power is infinite, endless, and eternal. And we sync ourselves with that, knowing that it is good and that only blessings can flow. And I give thanks for these blessings, and I let them arise and I let them be. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute you. It wouldn't let me unmute you because you muted yourself. So I have to do it over here, or you have to do it over there. You want me to mute you? Okay. Oh, he muted himself. Okay. I'm trying. I don't multitask really well, which is why faith is so important to this process, because I can multitask doing other things, but when it comes to speaking, I can't do that. There's something that happens. I don't know. I get lost and I can't remember where I'm at when I'm talking. So faith is the one that answers questions and does all the background stuff. And all I do is talk. I like it that way. This next song, We Are All One, is one that Reverend Fairy Lane Silver wrote when she was in her practitioner training. And it's a great way for us to remember that we are all connected.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living. Open I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one, we are all one, we are all one in it. Yes, we are all one, we are all one, we are all one in it.
Yes, we are all one in it. So if you're here, say hi, good morning, hello, however you want to greet us. Let us know that you're here. If you're stopping by later, just say hi, let me know. I can't see who's here. I only get a number. It's not like in a facility where I get to see people shining back at me. That feeds me. If you like something that you hear, whether that's something I say or Faith sings or us praise, use that like button. And if you love what you hear, please send us hearts. We love to get love. And if something strikes you as powerful or it hits home, use the wow button. Let me know that I'm on track, because I'm here to uplift and inspire. And I like to make sure I'm on track with all of that. So without further ado, here is Faith singing We Are Holy from Karen Drucker.
We are holy, holy, holy. 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 We are Holy Spirit divine. Holy, come to me. Holy, healing love. Holy, healing me. Holy, open my heart. Holy, allow me to see. Holy, beauty and love. We are this. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. You are Holy Spirit divine. Come to me. Feeling healing me. Open my heart. Allow me to see beauty and love surrounding me. I am holy, holy, holy. 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 I am. We are holy, holy, holy. 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 We are holy, holy, holy.
We are holy, holy, holy. We are. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am holy, holy, holy. I am. You are holy. We are holy. And I am holy.
It almost seems like we shouldn't even clap after that song. It's like moving into the holy feeling, you know?
It's right. I love that song because it gives it like this very like flowy vibe. It's great.
I know. Thank you for suggesting that song today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you too. Okay, so today's topic is we are holy. And we have all these really weird ideas about what holy means. Like we call the Pope His Holiness. And that sets us up for believing that holy is something that's so big and so overwhelming. But what's really true is we are all holy. We are all made of the same stuff. The Pope and us are made of the exact same stuff. So when I talk about us being holy, it's about that. It's about that inner essence of God that lives within us. And I have friends, who really feel like they eat a certain way because it makes them more holy. And I have a lot of respect for their dedication to the way they eat. But I don't believe that God would want us to deprive ourselves of food, of certain kinds of food, in order to be that holy. So I question that, not so much. I have a lot of respect for them because it takes a lot of discipline to be able to eat the way they eat. Sometimes they fast for like 7 days at a time, that kind of thing. It takes a lot of dedication to be able to do that, but I don't think it makes us more holy. I think that perhaps it's an outpicturing of the holiness that they feel within that makes them want to eat that way. And part of the whole thing about being holy is that we are whole just as we are. We're absolutely without fault. It's not that we don't do things that are less than perfect. I'm not saying that our actions are totally different from the essence of who we are. This one lady, I get this a lot, but this one lady in particular said to me, well, the whatabouts, you always get the whatabouts. What about child molesters? What about rapists? What about, and the truth is that we are all created perfectly. Our spiritual essence is perfect. And the things that happen in our lives and our reactions to them determine what actions we take. So I don't believe that child molesters or rapists or anybody like that is born that way, or that they're destined to be that way. I believe that the things that have happened in their life, now, I'm not discounting that there might be brain chemicals off, but I'm just saying that the things that happen in our lives and the way we respond to them teach us how to behave in the world. But I'm not talking about behaviors. I'm not talking about the actions. I'm talking about the essence that lives within us. So when I say everyone is perfect just as they are, everyone is whole, everyone is holy, that's the part I'm talking about, is that essence, that spiritual essence that lives within us. As I always say, I believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and that makes us human doings, right? Because we're the ones in the human form that are going out and doing, and God is just being, and it bees through us. I like that. So when we start out with a definition about holy, it's not because we do certain practices. It's not because we eat a certain way. It's not because we hold our hands a certain way. We are holy because we start out as whole. We start out as perfect and complete as we are. And so I think of that because we are made of God's stuff, that there's no way we couldn't be holy. I don't know if you've ever heard me talking about God's stuff before, but there's actually a quantum physics explanation for all of this. The first principle is that there is an intelligence that permeates the world. Now, we happen to call it a divine intelligence. The quantum physicists don't call it that. They just say there's an intelligence in the universe that knows how to create something out of nothing. And every time I hear that commercial, making something out of nothing, I think about that because that is the exact wording that when we did our research that shows that they believe that there's an intelligence in the world that makes something out of nothing. And so we choose to call that divine intelligence. The other thing is that everything in the world is made of the same stuff, and they don't call it God stuff. They just say that it's molecules, and the way that they bump up against each other determines the solidity of an object. So if it bumps up together really, really, really fast, you get something like this desk. A little bit slower, you get humans. A little bit slower than that, you actually get, air and water. And so when they talk about the molecules that make up the universe, it's all the same. And it doesn't matter what you're talking about. It doesn't matter whether it's a desk or the air or an animal or a human. It's all the same molecule. So we call that God stuff. And I choose to think that God made us out of itself. So it used the stuff of itself to create something out of nothing. And that's what we are. And so I really firmly believe that each person is made up of that same God stuff. And when I look around and I see other people, I see God stuff. I don't see their actions. I mean, yes, I acknowledge that people have some poor choices in the actions that they take. I'm not perfect. I make choices to do actions that are probably less than perfect. But I also know that regardless of the actions within that person is that God stuff. God doesn't make junk. So how could anyone be less than perfect spiritually? And I know a lot of people have a hard time with that. But I think that when we're born, it's like a clean slate. Like we are perfect, created exactly like we should be, like we're supposed to be. And that we start out life as that perfect form. And then things happen to us and life presents itself and we respond to it or react to it. And then it damages us in some way. And then we start to act out that damage. And so when I look at people's actions, I don't judge them for the actions. I know that there's a moral imperative in a lot of religions about what you should and shouldn't do. One of the things I'm really blessed with in this philosophy is that we don't go there. Because what I believe in discernment, I don't believe in judgment. And I was explaining that to someone yesterday, or day before yesterday, whenever that was. I was explaining like the ice cream thing. Like discernment means I don't like chocolate ice cream. I prefer not to eat it. Where judgment says you can't have chocolate ice cream either because it's bad. And she didn't really like my example and couldn't relate to it. So I said it like this. What may be morally wrong for you is according to your moral life. What is morally wrong to me is according to my moral life. And I can't judge you for your moral choices, and you can't judge me for my moral choices. She disagreed with me, but that's okay. But I like that our philosophy doesn't judge. I like that we use discernment. I don't do certain things because I don't like doing certain things. I don't think they're right for me. In my integrity, I can look at something that someone's doing and go, that's not for me. But I'm not going to tell them that it's not for them either, right? So that's the difference between discernment and judgment. And I love that our philosophy practices discernment and not judgment. All right. So I'm going to put up my little teaching symbol because I really want to talk about the whole quantum physics thing again, or, still. This is our teaching symbol. And this is the process of creation as illustrated. So you see that there is a circle, an unbroken unity. That's what it represents, is that there is no beginning and no end. So there's no place where you leave off and I begin, or that I leave off and you begin. It is all one unbroken unity. Now, having said that, now we're going to part it into three pieces. We can't part God out, but in order to illustrate and be able to talk about this, we almost have to separate it out. The top portion is that conscious mind. And that is God thinking, I want to create, or us thinking that we want to create. Either way. I mean, it doesn't matter whether we're talking about God or we're talking about the individual. It works the exact same way. And then the middle portion is the subjective mind. Now, that subjective mind in the purpose of God's creation, for example, is the stuff that God is made of. It's the unformed substance, the Play-Doh, if you will, of how we create. So God thinks something into existence, into that passes through that middle portion, which is the God stuff. And then the bottom portion is form. So that is like, so if you were creating a human being, for example, God thinks, passes it through itself to make us, and here we exist at the bottom there. And when you look at the V represents how creation works. So it comes from the conscious mind into the subjective mind, down into form, and then returns back to the nothingness from which it came. So when we talk about the death of a human being, or a human doing, what we're saying is that this physical form, this body that we are, that lives in that bottom portion of the symbol, returns back to the nothingness from which it came. But the consciousness lives on. We are eternal. If you go back to quantum physics, they will tell you that you cannot destroy energy, that it just takes a different shape. And that's pretty much what we think of consciousness. So it's forever existing. And so when we talk about being holy, what we're saying is that that process of creation created us to be holy. And we no longer think about the actions as much as we do what that perfection is. Because you create more of what you focus on. So if I focus on someone's actions and I don't like them, then I'm creating this negative feedback loop that I'm in. But if in fact I can look at the actions and say, I understand that the actor and the actions are not the same, and that there lives God. If I can do that, then I'm focused on the right thing. I'm focused on the positive thing that's going to create a better reality for me. All right. So when you think about it in terms of the creative soil, that's another way of saying that subjective mind. When we plant a seed in the garden and we plant it in the soil and we feed it, sunshine and water and sometimes fertilizer, and we do all of those things, it produces a flower. And so when you think about our creation, it's pretty much the same, right? And so then you're eating because your body is a temple, which, by the way, is just an amazing organism that when you think about how God created us, we are created so amazing. There's this commercial for Nature's Bounty, I think it is, that's vegetables and fruit or something. And he talks about what an amazing machine our bodies are designed to be. Because if you feed it the right stuff, it functions so perfectly. And so when I think of my friends who eat that way, I think that they are actually enhancing their holiness, that they're not, it doesn't make them holy, but because they're holy, they are eating in such a way to make the body more efficient, so to speak. And so when we talk about all of that, the process of life of everything in our world, it makes the whole a whole lot more sense. For example, like we say things like, this too shall pass. It does. I mean, it returns back to the nothingness from which it came. So whenever we're experiencing strife or struggle, we know that this too shall pass. We know that it will move on. And that if we just focus our attention on God, on those things within us that are perfect already, then the things pass more quickly and we rise to the occasion with almost like a phoenix being rebirthed. Okay. I mean, it's fascinating to me that nothing is absolutely 100% permanent. Even COVID is not as prevalent a thing anymore. I still have to think about it. Lynn still has to think about it. We still have to wear masks everywhere because of his transplant. But it's not like it's the focus of everything like it was for a time. And so that has already started to pass. And that's good. It doesn't mean that anything ceases to exist. It just means that it changes form. It changes shape. And so when I talk about holy, it's because how could we be anything other than holy if we're made of God stuff, right? So the other thing is meditation. And I want to talk about gift order real quickly before we talk about meditation all the way. But meditation is a communion with that God being that lives within us. I'm not saying that we're separate from it, because we're certainly not. I like to think of us as watermarks on a page that, God flows through us, is in us, and is all around us all the time. And so when we're talking about meditation and saying that it's a communion with ourselves. Like I don't believe God is a person. I believe it's an divine intelligence. So I don't think it's like personhood necessarily, but I am saying that if I were to say to you, I would really like to spend time with you, but I don't have the time, or I would really like a relationship with you, but I don't have the time, you wouldn't stick around, right? I'm not saying God deserts us. I'm just saying that unless you make time for a relationship, it's really hard to sustain a relationship. So when you say, I don't have time to meditate, or you say, I don't have time for myself. There was this company that used to make these round tuits because we never get around to it. And it was kind of a clever marketing thing. But what's really true is you say, I'm going to meditate when I get around to it, or I'm going to spend time with myself when I get around to it, or I'm going to take care of myself when I get around to it. And this company marketed it that way. So now you have around to it, you have no more excuses. But if we aren't dedicating ourselves to taking care of ourselves and to spending time in communion with God, Faith, that's kind of, if we're having that experience where we're not doing that, then we are not in a relationship with God. We're not in a relationship with ourselves. So we really need to take that time to set aside to be in conscious communion with God. That's how we jump to center when things are going awry, because we are focused on God all the time, so that when those things happen, we can go, yeah, this is just a temporary thing, and God is absolutely what it is. So that's the thing about being holy, is recognizing that although we are human beings, we have that spiritual presence that exists within us that is actually very perfect. And so religions are really good at taking information from a culture and kind of changing it to fit their religion. Homophagia is one of those things. When you take communion in a Catholic church, what you're doing is you're supposed to be eating the flesh of Jesus and drinking the blood of Jesus. Well, that comes from when the goddess traditions used to have what they called a sacrificial king. And so he could be king for a day, and everything was done for him. He was celebrated and everything else. And at the end, they would eat of his body and drink of his blood. And so that's where communion comes from. That was the homophagia. And so when you think about eating a certain way, what you're basically saying is, I'm eating because everything is God, right? Everything is made of God stuff. And that includes our food. So it doesn't matter whether it's plants or meat or fruit or anything else. We're eating of God and we're drinking of God, right? And so when we eat with that purpose in mind, when we focus our attention let's put it that way. When we focus our attention on that eating is a holy experience, and we allow ourselves to remember that we're holy and that what we're feeding our body is also holy, and that what is happening within our body is holy, that machine that they talk about that is so efficient. When we think about eating in that terms, I have a lot of respect for that. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for my friends who, you know, are very dedicated to a certain way of eating. But I also know that if we see evil there, I don't believe in evil, but if we see evil in food, for example, then it's not going to do its job in us, right? And if we can focus our attention on everything that we eat is God coming in and fulfilling us, then I don't think things harm us. You see what I'm saying? Like, I have to eat a certain way because of Hashimoto's. That's just a given. And I understand that, but I try not to, when I cheat every now and then, I try not to think about what it might be doing to my body, because it is God in form that I am eating, and my body is going to process that food. And I have found lately that the more I focus on that, the less side effects that I get from eating those foods. So when we're focused on that holiness of everything, of all of life, our experience becomes one that is so much more beneficial for our lives. So for instance, we are, when you look in the mirror, how often do you, like, I am is such a powerful, oh my God, it's such a powerful prayer. Right from the Bible, when Moses was presented with this burning bush, and the burning bush said, go to Pharaoh and tell him to let my people go. He said, well, who should I say is telling me this? And he said, it is the I am. Tell him that I am sent you. So that is the most powerful thing. So you look in the mirror and you say things like, I'm fat. How many of you do that? Or I don't like my smile. I am whatever. And so what we're doing is we're actually insulting God, because God doesn't make junk. And so instead, if we could stand in front of the mirror and say, I am holy, I am holy, as kind of a mantra a couple times a day, do that. When you're in your meditation, some people get, like, I'm a feeler. Like, I'm a real believer in gift order. I'm a feeler. So I feel people's presence. I feel animals' presence. I feel the trees shimmering. I feel the breeze that makes them shimmer. I feel all of those things before I see anything. And I see, vision is my second order. So I see images of things, and I see pictures, and I see the leaves shimmering, and I see all the gold, and it's so beautiful. And then my next order is what they call prophecy. It's just a knowingness about what's going on. My least thing is sound. Like, I don't hear the leaves shimmer. I don't hear the bamboo in the forest pop. It's just not in my gift order. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because with visioning or with meditation, you need to be aware of how the information is coming to you. And when you're meditating, be aware of how you're receiving that information. Are you seeing images? Are you hearing words? Are you just a knowingness? In my case, it's a feeling. I have like a wave that washes over me when I'm in meditation that just sinks me into it. But I know that's me. I know that's my process. It's not everybody's process. So this week, I'd like you to, number one, go to the mirror and say, I am holy, at least a couple times a day. Repeat it over and over again, 7 times 7, maybe. I don't know. However it works for you, until you begin to actually experience the holiness that you are. And go into meditation with that idea that you are communing with the God self within you, and you're establishing your relationship with that God self, and that all of that is holy. And then as you eat your food this week, I'd like you to just focus on where that comes from. It comes from God. It is all God. Everything is God. So it doesn't matter what you're eating. I mean, yes, I know there's dietary requirements for diseases. Like I said, I have one, but I think that we need to focus our attention not on what the food could do to us, but on that fact that we are eating God, right? That everything is God. So I'm eating something that's going to feed my body and my soul and my spirit, as well as tasting good or whatever, right? Okay, so would you do that with me this week? Will you look in the mirror a couple times a day and say, I am holy? Will you practice like conscious eating, basically, is what I'm saying, where you are focused on where the food comes from, and that is God? And will you take a few minutes every day to just meditate, to cultivate that relationship with the God self that lives within you? Will you do that with me this week? Let's have a prayer. Oh, thank you. Millie just said, I am holy. I now turn my attention to the infinite power, the infinite presence of God, to that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how powerful God actually is, to the beauty and the life and the love and the beingness that is God. I know that that's where I find myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being, for it is who and what I am. And every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by that ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through all of us equally. As I know that it flows through me, I know that it flows through my team, or the team that God has provided me, through Lynn and through Faith, and through Oz, and through Karen, and through Elaine, and through Tina. For we are one in that infinite power, that infinite presence of God. And that same wisdom of the ages, that ancient wisdom of the ages that flows through us, guides and leads this team to the perfect doingness, to bring about that inspiration of God. So I know that same truth to be so for every person here today, whether that be in real time or later on, for we are one. We are connected by it, through it, as it. And there is no place where one leaves off and the other begins. There's only the oneness. Matakyo Yasin, we are all related, all my brethren. And so as we move into this coming week, I bless the experience of God, the experience of holiness, the experience of being in that holy presence within us. I bless us as we continue to celebrate our holiness by doing our affirmations in the mirror, by doing some meditation, by doing conscious eating, by celebrating the holiness within. So I know the same blessing is prevalent in the lives of anyone who is in the ministry of prayer today, because I do know that whatever condition they are experiencing, God is the answer. That the holiness of God that fills us in our being is the truth about whatever that condition is. So I pull back the veil. I reveal that banquet of holiness that lays before us, as I claim for them the beauty of God, the life of God, the holiness of God. I call it good and very good as I claim it in their name right here and right now. My heart just fills with gratitude to know that this is so, to be of service in this way. And so I just let this be. And so it is. Amen.
You are the heart who you are, and all you do is blessing to the world.
Oop, I think I cut her off too quick. Sorry, sorry, Faith. All right, so we have this. So this is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to express gratitude for that which you have received already in the physical realm, and that which you have created in the mind of God, but may not have experienced in the physical realm just yet. So in a moment, I'm going to have you go to www.oasiscsl.org. About 2/3 down the page is the offering affirmation I'm going to have you say with me. There's a Contribute Now button at the bottom of that. Let me talk to you just a moment about what you're contributing to, because we don't have a facility, so you're not contributing money for any of those normal things like rent and utilities and all of the expenses that come with a facility. Instead, you are contributing to our vision and our mission. Our vision is a healed world, and our mission is healing the world one person at a time. And how we do that is we market to the whole world. Like, we already have people from the UK and the Netherlands and Germany tuning in. We'd like to make sure that God's message gets out to the entire world, the global world. And we have to market that. So that's what you're contributing to, is the vision and mission of the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living. So whether you're watching this in real time or you are stopping by later, you can do this with me right now. Go to oasiscsl.org, and about 2/3 down the page, say this offering affirmation with me. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is. Hit that Contribute Now button and help us get to our vision by going through our mission. All right. So we have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners from coast to coast that participate in our ministry of prayer. They are the healing arm of our church, and we call them the God Squad. And if you would like prayer for something, type whatever you would want for prayer in the comments section. If you don't want it to be public, by all means, DM Faith and she'll make sure that it gets to the God Squad. But our practitioners will pray on that every day for a week. So take advantage of this loving service they provide. Our licensed practitioners are available by appointment for a fee for spiritual guidance. You reach out to them through Facebook. We're still updating the website, so there's no way to get to them through the website like I'd hoped. But they are available on Facebook, but you can go to the website and see who they are. And then reach out to them by Facebook and let them know that you would like to do a session for spiritual guidance, and they will tell you how to pay for it. I don't get involved in that. Each practitioner has their own business. So some of them use Wise, some of them use PayPal, some of them use Venmo, Cash App, and they'll let you know how to pay for that, and then they'll reach out to you by video chat at the appointed time. So take advantage of our practitioners, because they are wonderful people, and they're there to know the spiritual truth for you until you can see it for yourself. So it is really an important function that they serve for the church. All right. If you would like to be part of our online community, type more in the comment section, and Faith will make sure you get added to our public facing group page. That is our online community. We post anything there first before we post it to the rest of the world. So you'll be in the know, and you can talk amongst yourselves. It's kind of nice to have you have a spiritual community behind you, and you can talk back and forth. So that makes it really nice. All right. We have bracelets and mala beads from Brooks and Bailey here. All the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, a really worthy cause. You can reach these ladies at Brooks and Bailey 0307 at Gmail, or through their Facebook. Whenever they are having a booth at one of the events and they post it, I try to share that with you guys as well, because I do like to support those who support us. Now, This is this is the amethyst mala bead necklace that they do. This one's $60. They have $30 and up, depending on what gemstone you prefer. Their necklaces have 108 beads. So the Buddhists and the Hindus use the mala beads. They move one bead at a time each time they do a mantra. And I suggest you do that with your affirmations because you're trying to do 100 a day. At least that's what I recommend you do, is 100 a day. And so this necklace is a great way for you to keep track of that. They also have bracelets that are 54, so you could use those twice. But they have all kinds of other jewelry. They have a bunch of stuff. I love the one bracelet that they gave me that it's fallen off my wrist once in like 3 years. It has a little circle with a bar that goes through it to make sure it doesn't actually leave your wrist. And I think I just caught the bar on something and that's why it fell off. But check out these ladies. They're awesome. All right, Faith.
And please check out the Mystic Brew. The website no longer works, but social media does. So you can find us at the Mystic Brew 303 on Instagram and Facebook. We have intention jars that help you focus on whatever you are currently working on, as well as kits to make them yourself. Same thing with our bath salts too. And then we also are offering Zumba classes sporadically. So give us a follow and take a peek.
How's that going with the Zumba classes, by the way?
We are working on it. I had midterms last week, so I didn't work on any of it last week, but I think I've half got the software figured out.
Awesome.
Sort of. So
you'll be able to offer that very soon.
Hopefully, if not, then I'll at least be able to post like songs and routines. So
yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay.
Eventually.
So also we have, thanks, Faith. So also we have Angel Renee has an Etsy store where she sells intention candles and tea bags that you put into your bath that have all these aromatic herbs, and they help you to focus on whatever your intention is. So definitely check out both of these websites, or well, she doesn't have a website anymore, but check out Faith's store and check out the Etsy store that Angel Renee has. All right. Like I said, we like to support those who support us. So go check out Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver's website. She can't update her website to say how to pay for things. And so she travels around the country singing, and she always has the CDs in her car. So you reach out to her by email and let her know which CD you want, and she'll tell you how to pay for it. And then she's really good at sending them out right away. So wherever she is, she'll send it out to you. And then also check out Karen Drucker's website. Hers does work. You can buy it by the song, by the CD. She has karaoke. She has songbooks. Some of the songbooks have American Sign Language in them if you wanted to learn how to sign like God. I love this, that's God. I just love that. And so check all of that out and definitely buy something from these two ladies. They support us so well. We would not be able to do music on Sunday without that, because whenever we try to do contemporary music, Facebook or YouTube mutes us. So if it wasn't for these two lovely ladies, we would not have music. So if you appreciate that, go buy something. All right. And then check out our website at www.oasiscsl.org. There you're going to find video sermons from the last 3 years and audio sermons from all the years prior. You can also find us on YouTube and SoundCloud under Just Tucker. YouTube, we have all the videos, and SoundCloud, we have all the audios. So definitely check all of that out as we move into our final song here.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So right now I head out into this week knowing the blessings of God flourish and abound in all our lives. I am so grateful for this blessing that God provides in the holiness that I am, and I just let it be. And so it is. All right. So thank you for being here. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing on a Sunday morning, and we're blessed to have you with us. Join us next week and every week at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I know we're going to have a great service next week. I just know it. I'm getting more and more back to myself, which I'm happy about. It's taken a while. And so I think things are going to be heading really good for the next few years. Anyway. Anyway, stay safe. We love you. See you next week.
Next week.
Bye.